A mountain climber from Mexico shares a chilling photo from his trip to the mountains. It was during a podcast that Jesus Olivares shared the image and recounted the story behind it. Doubtless, the picture is pretty creepy to say the least. In 2009, Olivares and a group of friends had traveled to one of the highest mountains in Mexico. The mountain is known as Pico de Orizaba, which has an elevation so high above sea level that it's nearly impossible to climb without an oxygen supply. Many believe that the mountain is uninhabitable for this reason, and therefore lacks civilization. However, many climbers have reported seeing silhouettes of people and other strange shadow-like figures when going up the mountain. While some think that this might have been other climbers in the area, many believe that this might have been the spirits of deceased individuals who tragically died during their climb. Now, Olivares admits to having seen things he couldn't explain. Perhaps this might have been the altitude sickness kicking in, as low levels of oxygen can cause people to hallucinate. But Olivares is certain that what he saw wasn't him just seeing things, but in fact, something real. And to prove it, he has a photo. In a podcast, Olivares claims to have seen shadows and heard distant voices while he and his friends ascended the mountain. These occurrences would come and go, but eventually stop at a certain point. They would continue climbing, feeling less spooked, before later stopping to take photos. Now, lots were taken, but one in particular would catch people's attention. After the trip was over, Olivares posted the pics on his social media and called it a day. But then, the day after, a strange comment was made below one of his photos, which read, "Nice pic, but who's the kid in the background?" Confused by the comment, Olivares, in response, asked, "What kid?" To which they replied, "The kid in the corner. Who is that?" Olivares takes a closer look at the photo. He immediately got goosebumps. Olivares assures us that he and his friends, all adults, were the only ones present at the site. Initially thinking that it was just a rock, he shrugged it off as a case of pareidolia, but upon closer examination, there is clearly a child's face. It doesn't make any sense that someone, let alone a child, would be this high up in the mountain by themselves. Only explanation he can think of is that this was a paranormal incident. But of course, it is solely a theory among many others who've seen the picture. The photo continues to haunt him to this day, even though it was taken back in 2009, and the lack of an explanation reassures him that something paranormal occurred. But as always, what do you think? Did Olivares capture something paranormal? Or might there be a rational explanation for this? Feel free to let me know what you think down below.
What is one of the creepiest things a kid has ever said to you? I'll go first. When my daughter was almost 3 years old, she told me and my godmother a story. We were at my godmother's house and we were working on a Halloween/birthday costume for my daughter. We're taking her measurements and cutting fabric, and she randomly looks at us and she asks us where her mom is. I tell her, "You're being crazy. I'm your mama. What are you talking about?" Thought maybe she was confused because I call my mom, so maybe she's looking for her grandma. While I'm saying I'm your mama, she cuts me off and says, "Oh, she's dead." Me and my godmother are looking at each other like, what? My daughter told us, "My mom is unalive and I live with my aunt." And where's my aunt? Hold on, what are you talking about? She straight up tells us that she was alive in 1438. She's probably telling us some weird shit about a past life. I start questioning her. She keeps making sounds that are like Thessaloniki, and she says that her name is Arthnesanya. I'm writing everything down because I'm like, this is freaking crazy and I don't want to forget it. Because she didn't speak very well, I don't know what the hell she was talking about. I tried to do research on the places and the names that she mentioned, but I couldn't find anything. If there is a town called Thessaloniki or something in 1438, let me know. She told me her aunt was really mean to her and that her aunt ended up unaliving too. And that was it. She just stopped talking about it. And I kept trying to ask her more questions and she wouldn't say anything else. It was just like she had this little brain moment that just sped off a whole bunch of random information and then it completely shut off after that. She's 9 now and she has no recollection of any of this.
The man on the top floor. Japanese paranormal investigator Gachan from the YouTube channel Clip Store sets out to explore an old abandoned hotel all by himself. The hotel sadly had to close its doors in financial ruin over 30 years ago, driving the owner of the hotel to tragically end his own life. Visitors to the abandoned structure often claim to have seen the apparition of a man, and some say they've even heard his voice. Now, while exploring the second floor of the hotel, Gachan is a bit shaken up when he hears strange noises coming from somewhere in the hallway.
え、誰ですか？誰かいます？次の部屋行きます。こんばんは。誰かいますか？
One of the hotel room doors slams shut all by itself. Gachan's first instinct is to make sure that no other person is with him in the hotel, and he asks several times whether someone is there. When he receives no answer, he takes a look inside the room, but no one there. During his investigation, Gachan keeps hearing something dripping inside the hotel's elevator shaft. When he reaches the top of the building, he takes a look inside the open shaft. What happens next is downright chilling. Did you see it? Gachan looks inside the elevator shaft but doesn't find anything to explain the strange dripping noise he's been hearing. But when he walks away, his camera pans around and captures the horrifying sight of two legs hanging inside the top of the elevator shaft. Gachan doesn't even know what he just captured until he reviews his footage later at home. So could it be that these pale legs belong to the spirit of the deceased owner? Or is there something else going on here? Let me know what you think. You can watch this entire 2-part investigation over on the YouTube channel, Clip Store.
The following video has been sent to me by Trent, and it was supposedly found on a creature's thread. It is said that the video in question was recorded by a man one night who wanted to investigate a haunted mine trail, which was situated in the United States. He says that he didn't come across anything concerning that night, but when we were watching his footage the following day, there was a really strange occurrence taking place. An object, possibly an apparition, that his own eyes couldn't make out. Let's see. He stated that he thought several times to have seen something in the distance, but that it ended up being nothing. It wasn't easy to make out, but on the left-hand side of the screen is a really mysterious looking object. And we can actually see it twice. The first time it looks at the camera, and after it disappears. And after that, it disappears to the left. Some say it looks like a robed figure with a light source in its belly. At least that's what some believe. What do you think happened here that night? Really curious.
We're in the middle of the desert and we look and there's just like this staircase that goes to nowhere.
nothing?
And like I see it and
In the
Kim
middle
see-
of the desert.
I see it and Kim sees it and we're both like, we get this really bad, weird feeling and we're like, we need to go back and like find out what that is.
It's like an 8-mile city called Felicity and only a population of 7 or something like that.
This is in Arizona?
This
Yes.
is in Arizona.
And this really rich guy, he's a
Rothschild.
A Rothschild. He bought this town of Felicity and named it after his wife, Felicity.
Wait, is this real?
who we think
Yes.
we ran into.
Can we make sure that this is real? They offer tours of this place.
Oh, we did a tour. It was
We did a tour.
horrifying.
Why?
They tried to get us into this. They put us in this pyramid.
And told us to make a wish.
What?
They made us They tried to get us in the center of the pyramid, in the center of the thing. Put our foot in the middle, save this thing, and make a wish, and then sign a contract. And I was like, and we were like, I'm not doing that. And she was like, well, it's the only part of the tour you have to do.
And they go,
to do the tour. And that's when we said we don't want to do the tour anymore. We're going to leave. And she was pissed.
Akulah kebangkitan dan hidup. Barang siapa percaya kepadaku, ia akan hidup walaupun ia sudah mati. Dan setiap orang yang hidup